Want help to grow your business? Download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Google Made Easy. My name is Peter Moriarty and today we're going to be covering how to get more out of Google Docs. Yes, this is our intermediate session on Google Docs. We already started out with a beginning one, so if you haven't already checked that out, make sure you go ahead and check out our Getting Started with Google Docs. But this is our intermediate level session and I hope you enjoy this episode. Now, before we get started, two quick things. Number one, make sure that if you're following along at home, we get super practical in these sessions. So if you've got your computer ready or maybe you just want to take some notes, make sure you're ready to rock and roll and follow along implementing what we're talking about in this episode. Number two, make sure you connect with myself and the rest of the Business Blueprint community using the hashtags Business Blueprint and Google Made Easy. So we're on all the social networks. Say hello on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+, and make sure you're getting your questions answered. Ask us any questions, give us any feedback or any comments on the show. We look forward to chatting there. So what are we going to cover in today's episode? Let's run through one by one. We've got heaps in store, so I hope you're ready to rock and roll. First up, we're going to be going through how to work offline with Google Docs. Now, we touched on that in the last episode. I want to re-go through that because that's a super important one to get you started. Next up, how to use the Google Docs template gallery. So this one's going to help you get started creating great templates for your Google documents, and there's already a bunch of pre-made templates that are in there as well. Next up, how to find and insert royalty-free images into your Google documents that you're creating. So this makes it really easy to create visually stunning presentations. We've got a free image editor that we can use to find and add images. We're going to go through how to use that. Next up, how to use dictation to speed up your document creation. So we're going to show you Google's brand new voice typing feature built right into Google Docs. Next up, how to create headers or footers for your documents. So if you want to create headers, footers with images, with text, with anything else that you need, we're going to show you how to get that done. Next up, how to use commenting to get stuff done with your team. So you can use comments to collaborate, to keep the communication going as multiple people are working on a document. Next up, how to use suggested edits mode for enhanced collaboration. We're going to show you what that is, what it means, and how to get started with it. Next up, how to create a table of contents or page numbering. Next up, how to get your Google Docs signed online. That's a great one there. And then finally, and I know there's a lot here today, inserting flowcharts and diagrams into your documents. Now, that's a lot to cover and it's going to take us a little while to get through it. So I hope you're ready to move fast and you get a lot of value out of this session. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, we covered in our last episode how to work with Google Docs offline. And this is extremely important for you, being that Google Documents all run in a cloud desktop browser, which means that we're using our internet browser 100% of the time to work with our documents. Now, what happens when we need to get work done offline? If you're on a plane or at a coffee shop or somewhere else where you don't have access to an internet connection, how are you still able to get work done with your team? Now, thankfully, as of March 2014, Google have released and re-released their offline mode for Google Docs editing. So this works with documents, it works with spreadsheets, and I'm going to show you how you can get that set up so you can get work done on your documents while you're offline. Now, how do the changes save if we're not connected to the internet and we're trying to work on a cloud document? Well, that's a great question. And what Google does is, as long as we're using the Google Chrome browser, which is highly recommended if you're using Google for work for your business, you can get access to Google Docs offline mode. And what that does is any changes that are made to a Google document are automatically saved locally to Google Chrome on your computer. And then as soon as you connect to the internet again, your changes will be automatically uploaded and saved back into the Google document. Now, if you make any changes and somebody else in your business has made changes to the document as well, both of those changes will be retained and they'll both be merged into the same document, which means that you're never going to lose any information and you've got no fear about editing a document while you're offline and having the changes synchronized back to the main version of the document. So let me show you how to get that started and how to get it working for your business. So we're going to go ahead and first jump into our Google Drive settings. This is where we access the settings for whether or not we store documents online or offline on our machine. So you can see here I'm in a Google document. I'm going to go ahead over to my Google Drive here. You can see here I've opened up my Drive, and we want to go to our settings, and then from our settings wheel here into the settings menu. And then from the settings menu, you can see that we've got a few different options here. And we want to look for the option called offline. And we want to tick this little box here. Sync Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Drawings files to this computer so you can edit it offline. Now, Google gives us a little warning there. It says to us that it's recommended that you don't do this on a public or a shared computer. So if you're working on somebody else's machine, perhaps a colleague, perhaps you've signed into somebody else's computer, probably not a good idea to tick that one, because that's going to save some of your file data in encrypted format, but still some of that file data locally on your computer. So leave it unticked if you're using someone else's machine, but if this is your computer and it's password protected, great idea to switch on offline files. Now, what does it look like when we're actually working on a document offline? Let's go ahead and jump into one of our Google Docs here, and I'm going to be using this as an example for our presentation today. So you'll see here that any changes I make are automatically being saved, and they've all saved online to Google Drive. Now let's go ahead and switch off my Wi-Fi connection so I'm no longer connected to the internet. You'll see here that automatically Google has detected that I'm offline within a couple of seconds. And even if I've opened up my Google Drive, you can see here that it's given me a little warning that some functionality is now unavailable. Now, any changes that I make to this document, let's go ahead and put in some more text here on a new line. You can see that these changes are saved, however, they're being saved offline. And what that means is they're being saved into Google Chrome and not online to Google Docs. So we'll finish up making some more changes here, and then let's go ahead and switch our Wi-Fi back on, and let's let that connect back up to the Wi-Fi network. Now, keep in mind that we're doing all of this live, so there's no trickery, there's no camera tricks or anything like that you may have seen on other shows. We are keeping all of these edits happening in real time. So let's have a look at what Google does once we connect to the internet. You can see it's already saving because it's detected an internet connection, and there we go, all changes have been saved back to Drive there. Wonderful. All right, so now we've got our document updated and we can get any work done that we need to offline. Now, remember that this also works with Google Sheets, it works with Google Slides, and even Google Drawings as well. So you can try that out with the other applications. We'll be covering more of those in another episode. So now we've nailed working offline, let's go on to our next tip, which is how to use the Google Docs template gallery. Now, the template gallery is super useful for you when you're creating a new document and you don't want to have to start from complete scratch. If you've got a bit of an idea of what you'd like to create, maybe it's a brochure or an invitation or a client proposal or maybe a new pitch on a new product, Google has a fantastic library of templates which will allow you to easily create really great looking documents. So let's see where we get access to that. Now, right now it's a little bit tricky to access these right from Google Drive. Google's doing a little bit of an overhaul of their interface, and so the easiest way to get in touch with these is actually once you've already opened a blank document. Sounds a little bit strange, but right now that's the best way to get access to them. So let's go ahead and in our document here, you can see from the File menu, I can go to New, and then you can see I can choose to open up a document from template. So let's go ahead and click From Template, and let's see what happens. So here Google has automatically taken us into the Google Docs template gallery. So I can go ahead and scroll through here. You can see that there's a number of different templates. So we've got templates for brochures, we've got one for meeting notes, for even a proposal here. And a lot of these even have design elements and pictures that have automatically been placed right into the document. So I'm going to go ahead for this brochure. I'm going to go ahead and choose this brochure document. This is one of my favorite ones. So I'm going to click on this, and what this will do is actually start a new document, start a brand new document, and it's going to bring in all of those pictures. You can see it's got some placeholder text here. It's got some headers and some footers and some other cool images as well. And what that does is it allows you to just go ahead and change and update that template without having to start your document from absolute scratch. So that's how you use the template gallery to get started with your documents so you're not creating documents completely from scratch. You can even save documents to the template gallery, and that will allow you to share those documents with one of your team members as well. So next up, how to find and insert royalty-free images. Now, when you're creating documents, it's a little too easy to just go ahead and grab an image that you find on Google image search and plonk that straight into your document. However, you need to be careful that if you're creating a document that you're publishing, you may not be able to use just any image that you find on the internet because of copyright laws. Now, there are many open source and free image galleries that you can use to get access to royalty-free images. However, only one of these is built directly into Google Docs. And this is a nice little add-on that allows us to grab royalty-free images and insert them straight into our Google document. So let's go ahead and look at how we get access to this and get started with getting images that are royalty-free straight into any of the documents that we're creating. So I'm going to go ahead and add this plugin to our Google Docs. However, first we need to go to the Google Docs plugin gallery. Let's go ahead and do that.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.